What's up, everybody? Mix of Games here, coming at you with episode 8 of our Give Me Some Capped Madden franchise series. And I took the liberty of going through all the players that needed to be cut, as well as also going through the depth chart and just kind of organizing everybody to the positions that I want them to be at. That's definitely a little bit time consuming, so I'd rather do that off the camera. But it does actually look like we got a relatively young up and coming squad here. We do have a lot of guys that we kind of hope do develop well. One of the main guys obviously is Deshaun Watson, but like I said, most of the XP that I had to invest in him was into his development, which before was just normal. So hopefully he actually can gain a little bit more XP this time around, and hopefully we actually surround him with some blocking and some pieces, and hopefully we could get some jobs done as well on the defensive side with the major upgrades for our strong safety with Carl Joseph, and just overall depth around the defensive line and some cornerback depth as well. So we're gonna jump right in. We are currently 1-2 in the preseason. Hopefully we can end off 2-2, but if not, believe me, not the worst thing that we can actually go through. And I just definitely want to get into the regular season and hopefully see what kind of games we can actually get going. So really quickly, we're going to jump right back and just see how we actually finished off the preseason. And we end off with a win. Okay, so we beat the Chicago Bears 37-20. Fortunately, we can't check out the stats of the last preseason game, but that's all good. That's a positive note. Ending off 2-2. So here we're going to jump in and simulate the weekly training, get our guys some of that very, very valuable XP, and let's see exactly what we can actually do. So considering that this is a owner friendly pretty much franchise where we're not going to be playing the games, we're going to be simming them, I think it's in our right path to do some owner duties. So really quick, as I was just thinking of going through the weekly training, we're going to look at our head coach. So we have 2150 XP available, and that's really not that much, but immediately what we're going to upgrade is the weekly goal XP, and that is what you get from the training. From the weekly trainings, your guys get a little bit more XP, and then you can specifically add more as you go along. So like he already comes with the offensive line, which is actually pretty good, and then the next one that we're going to aim for is the expert scouting. That's just going to give us a little bit more scouting points so that we can actually scout more players. So at the same time, let's just take a look at what our finances look like and just make sure that everything is pretty much good value all the way around. We did this in the beginning of the first season. We just went through all the prices and just made sure that everything was good to go. But at the same time, we just want to keep those prices at a good value so that we do have paying customers coming back. Now let's take a look at what kind of stadium we have. So we actually have some pretty low ratings, and at the same time we don't have the most funds. So I think what our plan of attack is going to be, because our stadium is still fairly new, only 16 years old, not too bad, but the lowest that we have is the bathrooms, and let's just see what it would cost. So upgrading it to the next tier would cost 40 mil, and that would just automatically make it a 99. And as you can see from the tweets on the right, everyone is definitely complaining about the bathrooms, the stands, concession stands, and the seating as well. So we actually do have quite a few needs. And let's just see what the concession stands. So that we wouldn't be able to upgrade neither the seating. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade the bathrooms, get that to a level 4, and then we'll be good to go when we have a little bit more funds next time. And hopefully that encourages some better hygiene throughout the stadium. But here we're going to go. We are playing the Philadelphia Eagles in the first preseason game. Just out of force of habit, we're going to take a look at what our overall is standing at the beginning of the year. So 83, so we definitely have a good way to go to get these guys into a Super Bowl caliber team. But that's what every single season is going to encourage, just promoting growth and enhancing our players. And unfortunately, we do fall short, very short, losing 24-22. We're going to take a look at the stats and see where we ended up failing on. So right off the bat, Deshaun Watson got sacked 5 times, and I kind of figured that's going to be a little bit of a rough patch. Hopefully that's not the outcome for the rest of the season. But Carson Wentz did have a pretty good game, only got picked off once, and their running game definitely killed us. Let's just see what our running game was. So Lamar Miller actually played pretty well. Our rookie did give up a fumble as well as Deshaun Johnson, so not really Deshaun Watson. So unfortunately, not the greatest. Those are turnovers that we can't afford to get rid of, especially only losing by 2 points. Our receiving game wasn't really there. Now let's see by curiosity who gave up the most sacks. So it was definitely our rookie left tackle and our rookie right tackle. Completely understandable. Those guys are pretty much just thrown into the trenches. Long Lewis is a little bit better than the Bruce Castle, so I kind of figured Bruce was going to have a little bit of a hard time. But that's all right. We're going to have to absorb that, and just hopefully these guys do develop from that. So we do get a sack and a pick here and there. Actually, a couple sacks. So not too shabby. Unfortunately, losing by 2 is a very, very close game. Our kicker did not miss a field goal, which usually is the case when you lose by a few points. So let's go in here, simulate the weekly training, and let's get things started. And I believe, yeah, we are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. So our number one priority is definitely Leonard Fournette and stopping that run game. So hopefully our defensive line improved a little bit better, that they could do a better job up front so that our linebackers can actually do the job right. And unfortunately, we do have the Titans taking away our rookie free safety, Spencer Dunbar, from our practice squad. So that's all right. And then now let's jump right in and let's see if we can actually take care of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we don't. Oh, boy. All right, so unfortunately, we do fall to 0-2, and you know you're having a harder season than the Browns when the Browns do have a win instead of yourself. And we get demolished 49-20. Absolutely butt-whooping. And let's just see exactly where we went wrong. So we did get sacked 3 more times, and Deshaun Watson actually had a game for himself. Not too bad. But that perfect quarterback rating to Blake Bortles just definitely can't be held back. 310 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, no sacks, just easy picking for him. And Leonard Fournette creamed us, 23 carries, 138 yards, and 2 touchdowns. An absolute abomination by him. Our run game was really not there, and our halfback, our rookie halfback, is fumbling way too many times. So hopefully I can actually see if we could reduce his role a little bit, because he seems to be getting probably like the third down carry if Lamar Miller is getting a little bit tired. But our passing game definitely came to life in this game. Will Fuller actually had a game of himself, 6 catches for 96 yards. So did CJ and everybody else all the way around, and Lamar Miller was in there for a touchdown as well. And I'm going to be assuming it's going to be the same tackles. Definitely the hardest positions to fill in any franchise. So not horribly heartbreaking that they are giving up that many sacks. They are rookies, and hopefully they're just going to have to develop and gain a lot of experience so that we can actually bump up those stats for future seasons. So here we actually do have a couple players that we have to negotiate with. So we do have Jadeveon Clowney and our middle linebacker, Benedict McKinney. So Jadeveon Clowney wants a 5-year, $47.6 million contract. So this is where this special Madden series is coming into play. So Jadeveon Clowney in the previous season, he was still in his rookie contract, so we didn't have to release him, we didn't have to trade him, even though his savings would have been above the 500 or the 5 million. Now, one of the stipulations is you're only allowed 1 contract for after their rookie season. So currently right now Jadeveon Clowney wants a 5-year. So if, let's just say, this series extended past to year 6 and he wanted another contract, if it was below the 5 million threshold that I've set in place, then we could definitely obviously try and sign him. But if he wanted more than that, we can't offer him the contract, or we can at least offer him and most likely get rejected if it's way below what he's actually wanting. So we're going to jump right in and we're going to see if we can negotiate with Jadeveon Clowney. Obviously we do want to keep him, even though his development is quick. He is an overall superstar. We are going to keep him for the long haul. So we're going to see right here, we're going to actually bump up a little bit of the money, and we're probably not going to try anything with the years, because I do have a feeling that he is going to want to say no to that. So let's see right here if we can actually get him for a little bit more than what he's actually. Okay, yeah, so he wants the right length, but he wants a little bit more of a bonus. So that's okay. We're going to try and keep negotiating with him. So Benedict McKinney, we're also going to try and keep, considering he is a superstar talent. So what we're going to do is we learned a little bit from Jadeveon Clowney, and we're going to bump up to 385, offer him the contract that he wants. And there we go. So we do sign our middle linebacker, starting guy. He's only 25 years old. He is our franchise middle linebacker. Hopefully we could pair him up with Jadeveon Clowney in the next week that we actually do get to try and negotiate with him again. It is always usually better to start negotiating early on in case you do have a lot of rejections, because towards the end of the season, once it is the off season, if you offer a contract and they don't want the contract, you get denied, then you pretty much end up losing the guy to free agency, or you're going to have to franchise tag them. So we're going to keep negotiating with Clowney, and hopefully we can actually get a little bit more going on right there. So I do believe that other than the offensive line, which we are going to take a look at, I do believe that the right end spot is probably our weakest, and that probably follows our corners. So we're going to check out right here and see what kind of right ends we actually do have coming into the draft. So we do have Carlos Lewis, who is actually really, really nice. A to hit power, B plus to block shedding, and B plus to pursue. That is actually really, really nice. So Carlo Lewis is definitely going to be on our radar. He is a big dude. 6'5", 314, only 22 years old. That is insane. That is a monster. He's definitely probably going to be our #1 prospect that we're going to be going for, just so that he can actually boost up our D-line and pair him up alongside Carlos Dunlap and a couple other guys too. So Jamie Mathis is actually not a bad 5th rounder pick. Pretty much B's all the way around, so that's actually pretty nice. And definitely worth just keeping him on the draft board just in case. But Carlos Lewis is probably going to be the go-to guy that we're going to hopefully be able to get in the draft. So right here, we're going to jump right in, quickly simulate the training, and then let's just get things started. Hopefully we can actually take down the Cleveland Browns and be able to go on a little bit of a win streak here. It is a little bit harder once you see them having a win before yourself. But we do have one player that regressed. That's probably our backup. Yep, I had a feeling it was going to be our backup halfback, because he is fumbling and he is averaging a little bit less than what he should be. So let's go right here, and we're going to go into the next week. And, unfortunately, we do lose. So the Texans scored 37 points to get into overtime over the Browns, but we just couldn't happen. Wait, that actually didn't make sense the way I just read it, because I was reading it the way that I said there. But anyways, so we lost 37 in overtime. Yeah, see, the Texans scored 37 points to get the overtime victory over the Browns. The Texans scored, wait, what? Okay, yeah, I completely read that wrong. Yeah, so we did win. Oh my god. I was looking at the Colts and I'm like, okay, unfortunately we do go 0-3, but no, we actually do get our victory for the Browns. Okay. So that's actually really, really awesome. I was completely just mind messed up when I saw that, and I couldn't understand what the heck I was watching. But, okay, so here we go. So, Deshaun Kaiser and actually Watson pretty much had themselves a game, but Watson is getting creamed with these sacks, with these rookie tackles, just giving up too many. But, fortunately, we do get the victory. Isaiah Crowell also ran up and down the field on us. And, yeah, so Malcolm Bond is definitely going to have to be an eye that we're going to have to keep an eye out on. Possibly even might be traded up, because he's given up way too many fumbles. There's no reason why he should be giving up that many fumbles. But CJ held the game down with 8 catches, 89 yards, and 3 TDs. A really good game by him, and I'm pretty sure it was our left tackles and right tackle again. Yeah, so our left tackle is struggling a little bit, but you know what, guys? They're going to have to struggle before they develop. That's just the way that it's going to go. And we're just going to have to absorb those hits, and hopefully we can score points and not let those sacks affect us as much as they probably should be. But we're going to take a look at here and just see what exactly is going on. He does have an 81 carry, which is really not that low, to be honest, but I just don't understand why he's actually giving up so many sacks or so many fumbles. And he even does have the cover the ball trait. He does have the drop passes, so I'm not sure if maybe that's exactly when he's fumbling. But at the same time, that's it. That is a little bit of annoying that we keep losing fumbles to that guy. But we do get the first victory here, so not too shabby. So let's jump right in and see if we can negotiate again with Clowney. So we're going to keep the years the same, and we're pretty much going to bump it up to, let's just say 5-year, 48 mil. Let's see if he's okay with that. So, okay, so now he wants a little bit of a better salary than that, and we do have to wait till week 5 to negotiate with everybody else. So here is actually a stipulation. Since we traded for Carlos Dunlap and he was already in a contract, we're actually going to have to definitely sign him for less than what he wants, and we might end up having to let him go at some point in the season if we do not get him to sign correctly with us. So that is actually going to be a little bit of a heartbreak, but we will be trying to definitely get our Carlos Lewis at right end, so hopefully he could be a guy that we do go for. So let's check really quickly with any decent right tackles here, and let's just see what kind of guys we're working with. So we do have Cameron Kelly, who does have a B+, and that's not going to be too bad. So we might try and scout him, but he's not going to be one of the guys that we actually drop our draft pick on if we don't have to. So let's see. So we're going to do our weekly training. Hopefully we get some more XP on our guys, and that way they could just keep smashing it out of the park with their development skills. I am definitely super duper eager to try and develop Long Lewis into the left tackle that I know he can be, because look at him, he's just getting 600 XP every single time. I know he has definitely given up quite a bit of sacks, but that's okay. We're just going to have to move on with that, and then hopefully just develop them for the next year if this season doesn't go the way that we should. But hey, it's only week 4, so let's see. And unfortunately, it doesn't really matter what week it is. We do lose to the Indianapolis Colts, unfortunately, 35-7. What a blowout. That is just going to be a monstrosity. So I'm going to be looking for any positives, and right off the bat, I do not see any with Deshaun Watson throwing 5 interceptions. That is absolutely heartbreaking. That is just tearing my guts right out. I cannot believe that he gave up that many picks, or he threw that many picks. So Long Lewis actually didn't have the worst game of the season. He only gave up a couple sacks, and not too shabby. And our defense just tried what they tried and did what they did. When you throw 5 interceptions and just having the defense back out there constantly, then there's no way. But I do see, on a positive note, we are tied for second in our division, with the Jaguars leading the pack at 3-1, the Colts and the Titans and ourselves all 1-3. So pretty much, I mean, if we do have kind of a turnaround deep in the season, we might be able to snag in a wild card, which would actually be pretty mint. So let's go right here, and let's just offer him the contract that we all know that he wants. So let's give him the 5-year, 49.5 mil. And there we go. Jadeveon Clowney is signed. So Carlos Dunlap, yeah, okay. So unfortunately, we're going to have to keep that cap low. So we might need to probably sign him for a less amount of years, which is okay. So let's see if we can offer him pretty much at the 5-year or 5 mil cap. And he's definitely not going to be wanting a 4-year. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have to give him a really, really low amount. And he's definitely probably going to decline it. But hey, you know what? If that's how it's going to be, then we're actually going to have to plan to moving on with left end Carlos Dunlap. So let's see here, a 3-year. And he likes the length of the contract, but that's about it. Yeah, I kind of figured that he wasn't going to be wanting that low of a contract. So we might be moving on from Carlos Dunlap because we won't be able to keep him with that 5-year mil penalty that we're putting in place. So let's see by week 8 what his production value is, and let's see if we can actually get someone to be replacing him. So CJ here. CJ was still in his rookie contract, but last year we did franchise tag him, so he does want under the 5 mil, so that's actually pretty nice. So we're going to give him a little bit more. He's actually not that bad of a tight end, but he has been having a really productive season so far, so I'm actually really happy with that. And let's see if he'll take this right away. So the offer is perfect. He can't wait to sign next year. Awesome. Okay, so we do have a couple other guys that we do have to wait for. So the guy to keep an eye on is definitely Carlos Dunlap. We might be having to be moving on from him, which is all right. We'll definitely figure out something on the trade block, and hopefully we can acquire some picks for him if we do have to get rid of him and move on. But let's check out here, just in case, what the left end positions are looking like. It definitely looks like the right end is filled out a little bit more. We are going to keep an eye on that Rashad Tryon here. He's actually pretty decent all the way around, especially projected to go for 4th, as well as Malcolm Strong, projected to go in the 5th round. So not too bad. A little bit kind of a backup talent here we got going on. So that's actually pretty good. So there we go. So then now we're just going to sim the weekly training, and we do have the 4-0 Cowboys with Zeke being our #1 top threat. And now we did see in the previous weeks what Leonard Fournette pretty much did to us. So it's actually going to be a little bit nerve-wracking, and hopefully we can actually get some type of pressure on Dak Prescott before Zeke can run all over us, or we can actually stop the run and contain the pass. So let's see, week number 5, can we go 2-3? And unfortunately we don't. We do lose again to a very, very falling short game, 23-20, which is insane because we're just losing by the small amount of points. Other than really the Colts game, pretty much we've either won or we pretty much lost with relatively a touchdown or less. But we did send out the pressure on Dak Prescott. We got him down for 4 sacks, which is actually pretty good. Now, I'm scared to see, yep, I figured Ezekiel Elliott was actually going to have a really good game. And as I said in the beginning, that's definitely something we have to contain. And then we do have Bond, unfortunately, fumbling again. Not really sure why. And Deshaun Watson does cough up one as well. A receiving game was just not there. And as always, definitely one from our right guard and then our left tackle, Long Lewis, giving up a few sacks there. And our defense actually did all right. They tried what they can, and they pretty much got, the stops that they needed. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. We did lose by 3 points. So that's going to eat up at us for a little bit. But that's all right. We're going to keep on moving from that. And let's see what kind of contract we can actually get Carlos Dunlap to sign. So, again, we're going to have to bring this down, and let's see if we could get him for a 2-year contract right here. 2-year, almost 11 mils. Offers poor across the board. I don't like the salary, bonus, or the length. All right. Yeah, so we might be losing Carlos Dunlap if we can't come to some sort of an agreement. And we do have up until week 8 or week 9. I have to look at it again just to see what our trade line is. So I think what our plan of attack is going to be, once we get out of this weekly training, we're going to put Carlos Dunlap on the trade block and see what kind of offers we can actually work around with. And then we're also going to have to come back and do our weekly training. Our weekly scouting. But let's see what kind of offers we can actually get from Carlos Dunlap. We are putting him up on the trade block, so we did have to use him for a year, but that's all right. We got a year's worth out of him. I don't really see too much of a production out of him, so it's really not that concerning if we do have to lose him. Obviously, I would like a little bit more of a production with him, because at the same time, it would draw a little bit more interest. So we're definitely going to see what kind of offers we're going to get from him, and then pretty much use that to our advantage and work around that. So let's see what other talents we are going to be needing. We do have an abundance of picks, so I do feel confident that we're going to be able to work with something and make some type of trades happen with Carlos Dunlap so that we can actually get rid of that. So we are going to keep Sheldon Harmon here, and let's see. Okay, so we do run out of points, but let's see what kind of trade offers we do get. But we are going against the 3-2 New England Patriots in their hosts. So let's see if we can get a victory here. And we do have up to week 8, for the trade deadline. And we unfortunately do go 1-5. We lose 35-28. This season is definitely not looking that good, but at the same time, it is kind of encouraging because that is definitely going to mean we're going to get a higher overall draft pick that we're going to be able to do a lot of work with. So we do have Tom Brady, the GOAT, still playing, probably at the age of, I think, 41 or 42 by the beginning of this season now in this game. And he's just creaming us, 336 yards, 2 TDs. We do bring him down for 2 sacks. But Deshaun Watson actually didn't have the worst game that he could have been playing. He did have a decent game. And they do have Tevin Coleman that I do remember them going after in free agency, and he did pretty much do a little bit of work to us. So definitely some positive note. I don't see any rushing fumbles, which is really, really good. And our receiving game was there. DeAndre Hopkins tried his best, 7 catches, 92 yards, and so did Danny Amendola, coming in clutch at the end. We did give up only a sack by our right tackle, so that's actually really, really good. And nothing too crazy going on, only a pick and half a sack here and there. And then our kicker was on point with his kicking, so that is really, really good. So let's see here if we actually did get any trade offers by Carlos Dunlap. So he is only 29 years old, and he is an 87 overall, so that's actually really, really good. So we do have a little bit of an interest from him, and we're going to have to figure that out afterwards. Let's see what kind of guys we're going to be wanting to swap out with. So it doesn't look like anything crazy going on here. We are looking for 2019 draft picks instead of the 2020. So these second round picks would have been nice if they were for this year's draft. So let's see. So they are giving us Eric Rowe, but nothing too crazy. We're probably going to have to make our own little offer in the next week unless those offers do improve a little bit. But we are going to try one more negotiating tactic with Carlos Dunlap. We are going to see if we can boost up the years and just get him for slightly less than what he's actually wanting. And we're going to offer him a 4-year 24.4. So he really likes the salary. Wish I could say the same about the bonus or duration. So there we go. Nothing we can do there. We're just going to have to let him go. And Kevin Johnson, he is getting out of his rookie contract. And as you see right off the bat, superstar development. So this is where, like I said from the stipulation with Jadeveon Clowney, we can offer them the contract that they want when it is their first contract. Considering that we traded for Carlos Dunlap, we can't say the same for that because he would be in his second contract year. So let's see if we can keep Kevin Johnson on our roster with this sizable contract. So he wants a little bit more of a bonus as well as the duration. I believe that's what it said. So Jalen Strong, he does want a contract, but he's really kind of our third guy. So we're not going to worry about Jalen Strong. We're going to worry about our priorities in the beginning of the season. So all these other guys, we're just going to have to see how they pan out. But everybody that we do want to keep, we're just going to keep trying to push a contract onto them before the seasons. So let's go into the scouting and let's see what kind of receivers we actually have. So we do have a bunch of top overall receivers, but we're going to skip them right off the bat and just see if we can get a little bit of depth. Because what tends to happen is if you scout everybody in the first round, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're even going to be able to pick them up at that point. And then you're just going to be losing a lot of XP in later rounds where you can actually have a little bit more depth. Then you pretty much could be able to get that a little bit better. So on the next week around, we are going to come back and take care of those first. So we're going to go into our weekly training here, and we are going up against the Raiders. They do have Amari Cooper as their top threat, and hopefully we can actually make a little bit better happen with that. So let's see what's going on here, and if we can actually come out 2 and 5, and hopefully we do get a victory. So let's jump right in, and hopefully we can actually take care of these Raiders. And yes, we do. Okay, so we actually beat the Raiders 27-24, so that's a little bit of a positive note. And we're going to look in here and see what kind of stats we actually do have, considering that it was a lower scoring game. Nothing too crazy. But we do bring down Derek Carr for 5 sacks. Deshaun Watson goes down 3 times as well, but he did not throw a pick, and he actually threw for a good amount of touchdowns and 379 yards with a really nice quarterback rating. So Lamar Miller was running down the trenches. Here we do have Malcolm Bond again, giving up another fumble. So that is actually really probably the biggest priority that we're going to have. But right off the bat, DeAndre Hopkins with a game, 8 catches, 149 yards, and a touchdown. And we can't even not look at CJ Federwoods with 9 catches, 96 on his own, and even Will Fuller as well. So Will Fuller... Or no, actually, Jalen Strong is the one that wants a contract. So, yeah, so unfortunately, we probably won't be signing Jalen Strong. And our left tackle, Long Lewis, does give up a good amount of sacks. But Jadavion Clowney with a monster performance, 4 sacks of his own. We do get a pick and a couple other sacks here and there, so that was actually really good. But unfortunately, we could have actually lost this game. Our kicker actually missed a point after, as well as missing 2 field goals. So thankfully for our defense for holding us down and coming in clutch when our kicker definitely was not. But we are on the bottom of our division now, so unfortunately that's a little bit of a pain in the butt. And week 8, we do have here that we're going to have to get rid of Carlos Dunlap. So I'm not even going to try and offer him a contract. What we are going to try and keep Kevin Johnson here, and let's see if we could get him for a 4-year, 37 mil. And so he wants a little bit more of a bonus and the duration, surprisingly. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. If he wants more years, then that's perfectly fine with me, because that's gonna bring down the amount of contract that I'm actually gonna be offering him. So let's see right off the bat. Let's see who we can get off of the trade center with Carlos Dunlap. So it is going to be a little bit of a hurt to our defensive line, but I'd rather get some incentives into trading him because he has a monstrous cap hit. So we are definitely going to have to be getting rid of him, and there was no way that we were ever going to be able to afford him. So we do have the Bengals, who are highly, highly interested in him. Oh, well, they were the team that we did snag him for. So that actually definitely makes sense. But let's see if we have, so Jordan Mills, actually. A superstar of a guy, holy crap. Let's see if we can actually snag him for their guy. And it's promising. It's actually very, very promising. So, okay, so we might be in the market to doing something here. So let's see if we can offer up DJ Reader and how much more that brings up. So it doesn't bring them up at all. So we're actually going to have to offer them definitely a bunch of draft picks for Jordan Mills here, or Jordan Willis. So let's see if we can give them a 3rd and a 5th. Well, let's see what the 3rd brings it up to. So, okay, yeah. So we might be getting here a swap of their left end for our right end. And it's just going to be really, really nice. So let's see. It's going to be another pick. So I'm wondering if we should probably offer them another 3rd rounder. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and keep it to the minimal. And let's see if we can offer them a 5th. So it is in the green, but it's definitely not where they want it to be. So I think we're going to have to offer them a pair of 3rds. So let's see if we could give them a pair of 3rds. Ooh, a pair of 3rds. And let's see if we can actually get a pick of themselves. See if we can get their 6th rounder, and then just to see what that looks like. So super close. So I think right here is where it's going to work. Do we swap left end for right end, a pair of 3rds for our rookie? And, oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh, my God. So the Bengals are not interested in Carlos Dunlap, but the meter is full. Okay, yeah, so I think we're going to have to give up our 2nd for next year, and I'm definitely going to see if we can probably get a little bit more of a trade from them as well. Let's see if we can get a 5th rounder for this year. And how does that look? Nope, they don't want that. Are they going to want this? Really? Oh, okay, wow. So I think what we're going to have to do is let's see if we can offer them a higher 3rd round pick. Maybe, okay, yeah, there we go. So we do swap over our left end for their right end, which is the end that we actually traded for originally. And what we're going to do is we're probably going to swap over him to, let's see. So I think we're going to move over Dietrich Wise. We're going to keep Jordan Willis on the right end side. He's only, I can't believe his power moves is insane. His development is crazy. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to move over Dietrich Wise to our left end spot. We do have Penfile there, so I'm wondering if that's a sign that Penfile should be starting. And you know what, for the remainder of the season, why not? We're going to have Tremaine Penfile here, just finish out the season, and let's see what kind of production we can actually get from him. But we are going to move back Dietrich Wise to the backup spot, and we're just going to hopefully see if Penfile can actually do a little bit better there. So not that bad of a negotiating tactic, actually. We swap over our ends, and we actually get an even better end. We had an abundance of picks, so I was actually really comfortable with doing that. We probably could have gotten a little bit something else with the higher third overall or third round pick that we did offer. But you know what? That's fine. We're not gonna have to worry about that, and we're just gonna have to keep on the lookout, and let's see what other guys we can actually snag on here. So we do have a good amount of guys in here at the halfback position. So we're just gonna scout the guys with the best overall talent, and let's see what other players we can actually get. Because I do want to prepare for the long run for Lamar Miller as well as our backup halfback. Because it doesn't look like he's actually going to be producing. It looks like he's actually going to be fumbling a little bit more than what we would like. But I'm going to leave this episode here, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And we actually made a new addition somehow at the trade block, which is actually really nice. And I mean, it still is week 8. So maybe we might look into somebody else in the following episode, and let's see if we can actually make another trade happen. So this is a mix of games here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please remember, as always, to like, subscribe, and comment with any suggestions that you guys might have on this series or any series in general. And hopefully you guys are having a good afternoon. Peace.